This is the oldest version of After Effects from 1993, and this is me, a stupid kid with a passion for editing. I know what you're thinking. Charlie, what the fuck are you doing this time? It was probably another night at 3 a.m. when I started to panic, thinking I'm gonna run out of video ideas for this YouTube channel. One side of my brain kept telling me that it wasn't worth it and I should have never started. The side that always wins was sitting quietly in the back of my head and pulled out his notebook full of ideas that I always forget. He was looking at it and then his eye eventually caught an idea. Just make an edit in the oldest version of After Effects. Next morning, I went straight to work trying to find the first ever version of After Effects and a way for it to work on my amazingly fast Windows 11 computer. Because this version was so old, Adobe themselves don't even support it anymore, so I had to go the bad boy route. I went on dozens of sketchy websites, thousands of downloads, but I seemed to have nothing but several Trojan horses. After days of looking and searching, I was bored and stuck, but then I pulled out Discord on my phone and asked in my Discord server if anybody was able to find the oldest version of After Effects. A couple hours later, I got sent this. Shout out to this kid, by the way. Mwah. So I downloaded and launched it, and here's what happened. Okay, I think I've launched. Oh, jeez, that looks so old. See the logo on the side and that really ugly text. Whatever this is, this looks like an old TV, maybe like a, I don't know, like a Planet bouncy ball with an antenna or something. But please make a selection. Look at that. That's where this entire journey started. Well, look at that old text. That old load screen. It's beautiful. As nice as it was to admire it, nothing actually worked though. I wanted to see that tutorial video, but it wouldn't click at all. And this thing was just to view the file location. When I actually tried to click install, it would just crash. Meaning, another dead end. Back to the drawing board. But after a couple days of non-stop looking, I finally found a version that worked. Okay. It's loading up, and I have a pop-up called Tip of the Day. What in the? Welcome to Adobe After. Tip of the Day appears each time After Effects is launched, so you can discover new techniques and learn about additional features. Oh my god, that's adorable. Adobe would not do this today. Tip of the Day should be useful for both newbies and experts. The first few tips are designed for new users. You can open Tip of the Day at any time by choosing Help Tip of the Day. That's adorable. That's just adorable. And I don't. None of this really looks normal. This looks like, I think this is our footage. This is like the control panel, but I don't know where the rest is at. After finally figuring out how to make a composition, I put it to 4K 60 FPS. But later through editing this, I learned this software could not handle it at all. So I ended up compressing it down to 180p and 30 FPS. Off the bat, this looks really, like really old, obviously. This doesn't look too bad so far. I mean, obviously, what are those? I don't think any of my plugins worked. Wait, do I have like Deep Glow? Oh god. Do I have any of the Sapphire? Center Sword Blur? No, I don't have any of my plugins either. Oh god, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Charlie, what in the hell are you gonna possibly edit? I had to start by importing the footage. This version was so old that I wouldn't even accept my MP4 video of the footage, so I had to convert it to an API file. To do so was pretty simple. I just put it into After Effects 2021, cut up the scenes I wanted to use, rendered it, and put it back into the software. And guess what? It worked. Now, if I just drop it... I don't know why I'm so shocked, but it's working. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, what's that texture though? Wait, like that texture is nasty though. Well, we have the video imported. That's like that's really good. But what kind of After Effects video would this be if I haven't ran into a problem? We have audio, but I don't think After Effects wants to detect any audio. Wait, what was that? Audio just wouldn't work at all when I tried to preview it. This was very bad because how was I gonna mark beats or even put subtitle text? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna be making a film style edit. I tried everything, but it seemed like the problem was that I didn't have the right version of QuickTime supported for this version of After Effects. I didn't know how to install it or where the hell to even find it. Trust me, I tried looking, but nothing seemed to work. So from there, I just accepted my fate with this one. And I found another little weird way to listen to the audio. I had to hold down the control button and drag the preview bar so it would sound like this. Not the most reliable thing, but it's good enough to get by with. So from here, I went ahead and cut up all the clips I wanted to use. And roasted how that layer looked after cutting it. Click Control D Oh my god, that looks so weird. In my opinion, cutting up the clips is the most draining part of editing. But I guess it was in this moment that I started to be grateful on how the software looked today. Because when I wanted to drag layers, this is what it would look like. At this rate, if you haven't noticed, my brain was really hurting. But that wasn't gonna stop me. After cutting up the clips, I imported the audio I made earlier into the software. And it was really weird because instead of just clicking on the marker and it would just spawn wherever my preview bar is at, I would have to like drag it to where I wanted to put it. I was planning on putting about 12 to 14 beats. It would only let me put 10. So I just lived with it and aligned all the clips. And I scaled them all in and messed around with the position values. Then I pre-composed everything. And obviously there was a catch to that. It would like extend to the entire composition size. So I had to like recut it down again and again and again and again. Use your imagination to see that smile on my face when I was doing that. But I forgot an important step. My first edit. Next thing I started on was making the text. And let me tell you, it was really weird. What I used to do was click Ctrl-Alt-Shift-Y and it would make a text layer. But instead, first I had to make a null layer. Then I have to go up here and click on this. And it would have this weird pop-up asking how I wanted the text to be. Clearly, this was back when there was no separate text panel. Please come back, the kids miss you. And then the text was like this little effect, which was kind of funny. After writing the text, I remembered that I had none of my plugins or presets. So I had to make it from scratch. I had the basic glow and drop shadow, messed around with the settings until I liked how it looked. But I needed a text animation. After Effects at the time had no pre-made text animations, so I had to get creative. I ended up using a basic opacity animation. After I've made all the text, I had to now make the zooms. I already knew this was going to be a nightmare judging by the fact I had no Twixtor plugin to use. No Sapphire, no nothing. So what I did is I used a scale animation with motion tile applied to it. I thought it wouldn't be too bad as long as I could make a good graph. There's no graph editor. What? There is no graph editor! I looked all over this piece of crap and I couldn't find it. This is when I realized I was actually fucked. To keep myself calm, I told myself maybe the color correction will fix up the edit. So I went ahead and made a very basic color correction that needed no plugins at all. It was just sharpening and coloring effects, nothing crazy. Once I finished that, I pre-composed it. The last thing I needed was a green screen concealing my video. So I went ahead and made a basic overlay watermark. Honestly, I shouldn't have worried because no one will be seeing this piece of jack shit. And lastly, it was time to render. Now what I found absolutely adorable was that when I went to the panel where I had to find the render button, it seems like they had a different name than render. Stop it. Dude, look at that old ass layout. Jeez. I went ahead and changed up the render settings and put it to render. And yes, you called it. Of course Adobe wasn't going to give us the happy ending with this one. But eventually, when it did render, I compressed it and converted it to an MP4 file. And finally, it was time to watch our masterpiece.